What we're going to do now, since we're speaking to high school and predominantly college and above athletes, we're going to move on to the intermediate drills. And these are some of the drills. The next one we're going to do is called a wraparound drill. This drill was introduced to me by 1956 gold medalist Harold Conley, a very inspirational figure to me in my hammer career. Harold taught me this drill, the importance of letting the ball run from the right side to the left side. And we'll talk about that more when we're out on the field in our throwing. You'll hear me talk about letting the ball run, the pathway of really letting the ball get long on the left side. But again, Harold Conley showed me this drill, and we're going to have Jake come out here. And this is a drill that's sometimes done with a little heavier ball, so it gives you a better feel, at least for us that it is. And he's going to use an 18-pound hammer here. And what he's going to do is he's just going to get into a basic squat position. When we turn in the hammer, we like to keep the hip height at one level. So what he's going to do is he's just going to wrap this ball around to his left hand, back to his right hand, to his left hand, back to his right. He does that about 3 or 4 times, each time trying to let the right hand come across the chest in a pushing motion. And then eventually he's going to let that ball go to his left hand, and then he's going to start turning with the right hand and then put the left hand on. And he's going to start into his basic turns. Again, working on the counter, the foot moving forward, the tight knee action. Very good, Jake. We'll bring him back in for another one of those. Jake is very, very good at this drill. It was one of the drills that he came to live at my house or in my town one summer because he really wanted to learn more about the hammer. So he came to North Canton, and you know, I really didn't know if he was going to be any good at the time. And I'm like, okay, Jake, just do wraparound drills. I had just learned it from Harold, and he basically spent the summer doing wraparound drills. And he came back the next year and made All-American in the hammer at Ashland. So I guess it's a pretty good drill. So he does it really well. We're going to have him do it again. What I want the athlete to notice, and it may be hard to see, as he's passing the hammer around, he actually has the handle in the outside of his right hand, and then he passes to the finger of his left. As it comes back around, he's grabbing on the outside of the handle, and then again with the left hand. So when athletes first try, they think they've got to hold their hands right here, and it makes it tough to switch the hammer. So he's just grabbing right here, and it takes a little bit of practice. And we do this drill mostly outside because there are times when you're learning to pass it around where it'll just slip right out of your hand. So this is a drill that traditionally we'll do outside, and a drill that we've showed you where we actually do release this drill. Okay, we're going to have him do it one more time. Have him do about 3 wraps around his body, working on getting the ball long to the left, and pass it to the hand and start turning. As he starts going, we're going to get more of a counter, a nice sit back. Perfect. Very important in the hammer that ball pass long. Thanks, Jake. Pass long out to the left. As that ball starts turning, there's more centrifugal force. That ball starts pulling. If you do not counter the ball, or in simplest terms, sit back. Now I'm going to have John come out here, and I'm going to explain counter the best way I've ever seen it without the hammer. The best way I've ever seen it explained, okay? Now, if I have a hammer right here, and he's high on his legs, and that ball starts to get stronger, then he's just going to get pulled right over. Now, any good athlete who's ever played any sport knows if you're playing football or whether you're throwing the hammer, that this is not a very athletic position. But the ready position of a basketball player ready to jump, a linebacker ready to tackle, or a hammer thrower countering the hammer, we like to call that the athletic position. Now, I have faith in John. He's just going to take my hands right there, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit back. And what I'm doing right now is I'm using John's body to counter. If he were to let me go, I'd fall flat on my duff. Okay, that's what happens in the hammer. As you start going faster, and you could really see it in Jake's last throw in that wraparound drill. Watch as he got going further into the throw, how he started sitting back. And where that sit back happens is right off that catch of that ball. He comes in, he puts that right foot down, he sits right there, and he's sitting behind that heel. Right there, sitting behind the heel. So if he's catching here and he comes down and he's pulled over here, then he's going to fall right over with the hammer. There's no counter. So the counter to the hammer, which is you opposing the ball with your body and feeling that sit back right there, okay? And the harder you sit back, the faster the ball will sweep through. Ball speed, doesn't matter. You can see kids who look like they're just turning as fast as can be, and you think the ball's gonna go really far, and then it just falls short in the field. Always watch the hammer. If you watch the hammerhead, you'll see the speed of the ball. Okay, so that's the wraparound drill. And again, that's a drill we usually do off 4, 5, 6, and 7 turns off of a pad where we'll actually let that drill go because it's a very dynamic drill. It gets the ball moving very quickly, and it's a drill that we use to really think about pushing the hammer left and fast.